Hey, Boy Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report. Another big night for the Celtics offensively with threes falling. You get up to 36% from three. And big reason why, Al Horford, one of the great sharp shooters now in Celtics history.
Ballin'.
Hits a couple more threes tonight, gets off to a hot start, scoring 10 points in the first 6 minutes of this game. And this is something you caught. I didn't even see it. Passes Isaiah Thomas for ninth all-time on the Celtics three-point leaderboard. Amazing, indicative of where he's gone career-wise with the three-pointer. Now nearly exclusively a floor spacer for this team and doing a great job with it.
Right.
Over 45% from three. Threw more attempts than he took all of last year. This is the second most three-point attempts already with 15 games to go here that he's ever taken. He is launching them and hitting them with efficiency and becoming a great outlet for Jason Tatum. When he's out there with Tatum, this group thrives because defenses have to account for him.
Not only that,
he's stretching these big guys way outside of the paint. That was a big reason the Celtics beat the Cavs last week.
And that's something Joel Embiid can't stand, right? I mean, like, that's the part of his game that's extended his career, and he was ahead of this so long ago, man. Like, that last season in Atlanta, it was part of his game that that's pretty much what was told to him, right? If you want to prolong, like, the way the game is going right now, which I love Al mentioned as well when I asked him about it after this game, the way the game is changing now, if you want to prolong your career and even flirt with playing in, close to your 40s, you're going to have to put this as part of your game. And not only did he not only was it implemented into his offense, but he continued to work on it. And I think that's a big reason why the Celtics initially signed him, right? I mean, that was the part of his game that Brad Stevens said, look, we need a guy like that can spread the floor, who's an all-star caliber player. And then now here he is in his second stint, and he's even more efficient from deep.
He's so dangerous.
It's just a part of his game that it's the biggest reason why he's so effective at this stage of his career. Still a starter, and still, like you just mentioned, someone that opposing defenses have to account for, and when they really don't want to, he just opens up the floor for guys like Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, we remember he saved that Milwaukee series last year with that massive Game 4 alongside Tatum.
Yeah.
It's startling to watch.
Yeah, man.
Big men shooting at this clip. I think he's top 25, 30 in the league for a guy with his amount of attempts this year. We're almost to the end of the season, and he's going to end up with his career high in three-point percentage if he keeps going.
It's top 20.
It's amazing. Josue asked him about it. Al reacted. Here was his reaction to moving up that ladder.
Coming to Boston originally, and now you're here in your second stint, key part, shooting the past week or so, shooting over 60% from behind the arc. Just tell me what that's like in terms of your evolution as a player. What that feels like to be that high on the all-time Celtics franchise list.
Well, I mean, it's definitely special, given all the greats that have come through here, and but it also speaks to the way that the game is now. I'm sure that some of those guys were shooting a little more of these records would be unreachable. So. I just happened to be a product of playing in this time and getting these shots, and for me, it's something that we really put in a lot of work behind it, and just continue to get more comfortable shooting those threes, and I'm being encouraged by coach, by my teammates. Just continue to be aggressive and continue to shoot him, and it is pretty cool. And for me, it's the way that I feel like I can continue to have an impact on winning on the offensive end.
Yeah, and you can tell he loves where the game's gone because it keeps him fresh. He doesn't think he'd still be rolling at this point, or at least at this level, if he didn't add this layer to his game midway through his career. And he was a guy who never did it. You look at his basketball reference, first 4 or 5 years or so, maybe
attempted like
couple attempts.
Yeah, 2 or 3, and then all of a sudden, and it was little by little. And that was, again, if Al's not ahead on this, I don't think he's doing this at this level at this stage of his career. I mean, he was, in his mid-20s once he really started to implement this into his game. And I feel like, obviously the confidence is there, but it just really opens things up for this Celtics offense. I mean, we weren't sure how long he was going to be able to do this. You remember the first month and a half of the season, we're like, man, he's one of the better three-point 3-point shooters in the league. He's done it. You know, since the All-Star break, he's like shooting almost 60%. You know, from deep. You had that one game where he matched his career high in most 3-pointers made. So I just think right now what Al's doing, you know. We talk about him resting on the second night of back-to-backs. All that is exactly the pace you want him to be on heading into the last 13, 14 games of the regular season and right into the postseason.
He looks fresh, doesn't get hurt often anymore, which is great.
Right.
And I believe in him, even with some of the front court depth concerns right now. Rob still missing time. I feel good when Al goes out there and plays the center spot and they play smaller. That's how reliable he's become.
But there's
Not
another
only
level.
with the shot,
Yeah.
but the defense.
I mean, there's another level to Al. I mean, if anything, we learned that about him last season because Al had never been that deep into the playoffs. I mean, none of these guys had, right? But you didn't see his numbers decline or dive whatsoever. If anything, they went the other direction when you compare his postseason numbers last year to his regular season numbers last year. I'm hoping, and I'm pretty confident that we're going to see the same thing this year. Obviously, there's a bit of a dip when you compare him, you know, year by year. However, I still expect him to step things up a tad. You know, compared to what we've seen throughout the season and what we're going to see in, you know, next month in April.
Are they asking too much, though, if he's going to be that guy?
No, I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, that's the reason why you had him rest the second night of back-to-back. That's the reason why a lot of times he doesn't play a lot, you know, deep into 30-plus minutes. Maybe now, you know, gearing him up for the postseason, maybe now you see that more often, but he's still sitting on the second night of back-to-backs, and he's still someone that's not going to have to take 21 shots to get there. You know, he can be efficient, he can knock down threes for you, and he can put up that solid 18 to 20 points that you need, you know, to close out and just keep defenses having to go out to defend the 3-point arc.
Yeah. Got to give you something every night, though. John's talked, too, about some of the sways.
Right,
He
yeah.
has the explosive ones, and then there might be a night where he goes 0 for, and that's what you expect from a shooter.
He'll beat you in the baseline. He'll get that dunk like he had here, you know, against the
Yeah, and
Portland
attacking
Trailblazers.
closeouts, taking advantage of mismatches. They tried to do that in the finals last year, and it didn't go great. So that was going to be crucial to their playoff run, especially with Rob's health up in the air and the front court depth concerns that we talked about in our last video. Grant Williams not playing in this one. Al addressed that. You can check that on CLNS Media. Celtics All Access for the Grant review that we just put, the Grant report that we just put out. And of course, we're brought to you by Athletic Greens, athleticgreens.com/garden. Get you 5 free travel packs, vitamins, minerals, adaptogens, probiotics, and more, all in your water each morning. 5-star reviews across the board. You don't have to take our word for it. Great tropical flavor and an energy boost once you're on it for a little while. It's great stuff, and we've been on it for going on a year now. This is athleticgreens.com/garden. And HelloFresh, I love HelloFresh.
Oh.
The great fish kit.
That makes 2 of us.
Yep. Prepackaged ingredients,
You were so cheesy.
frozen, and instructions. You can go over there and get 60% off and free shipping. That's a big one. HelloFresh.com/garden. 60 for Josue Pavon. Bobby Manning. We won't be back here till later this month.
Yeah.
Celtics heading out on a 6-game West Coast road trip, but we'll still have pressers, still have post-game shows,
Plenty of content.
and more. Starting tomorrow with a practice, so we'll see you from Celtics practice on CLNS Media and Celtics All Access one more time. Josue Pavon, Bobby Manning here at TD Gardens.